Welcome to another episode of Photo Enthusiastic. I'm your host, Jim Fair. Nikon has announced a new flagship mirrorless camera, the Nikon Z9, or Z9 if you prefer. It's going to have Z mount, obviously, a stacked sensor, CMOS sensor, and a new image processing engine, as well as support for 8K video. So in other words, it's the answer to the recent Canon Flagship R5 and Sony Flagship Alpha 1. Now, the last time Nikon did a development announcement like this, the camera that they were developing shipped within 3 months of the release date. So this came out on March the 9th. I believe that was yesterday. And let's just read the press release here. Nikon is pleased to announce the development of the first flagship model for the Nikon Z mount, the Z9. The full-frame Nikon FX format mirrorless camera is scheduled for release in 2021. Doesn't say when, but 3 months from today would be in June, and represents a significant leap in technology and performance. Brings together Nikon's groundbreaking technologies, blah, 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 blah. The best still and video performance in Nikon history. Newly developed FX format stacked CMOS sensor and image processing engine. In response to growing needs of professionals and advanced enthusiasts and cinematographers, it includes support for 8K video recording as well as other video specs that fulfill diverse needs and workflows. So that's code for, it's going to do everything down to 1K to 4K. Embodies the ultimate usability as a tool, offering users an unprecedented imaging experience from capture to workflow, exceeding that of previous digital SLR and mirrorless cameras. So it sounds to me like it's going to be another one of these, hey, we can capture 30 frames per second at full resolution. There's no specs here. It doesn't say what resolution it's going to be. The photo they have, it says the appearance of the camera may differ from the photo shown. Appears to imply a built-in vertical grip, like a lot of flagship cameras. So that means it's going to be pretty heavy, pushing a kilogram. Anyway, so why should we care if we can't afford to buy a flagship camera that's probably going to be north of 5,000 Canadian dollars, right? Well, the trickle-down effect will eventually make its way into all of the cameras. And at some point in time, in the not too distant future, cameras will be able to shoot 30 frames a second stills without batting an eye, and you'll be able to get pretty amazing shots in little bursts and say, you know what, this is that one shot in those 30 frames. That's the perfect moment that captures that decisive moment, right? The decisive moment that Henri Cartier-Bresson would so carefully capture way back when on film. It's going to be a lot easier with you have 30 frames a second. Now, it doesn't say it's going to do 30 frames a second. I'm quoting the Sony Alpha 1 specification, right? But it stands to reason that Nikon's flagship mirrorless, unreleased at this point, is going to have some ability to compete with at least the Canon R5, if not the Sony Alpha 1. Might even share the same sensor as the Alpha 1 for all we know. We don't know if it's a Nikon developed sensor or if it is a third-party sensor. It doesn't say. But again, looking at past history, when they do a development announcement, and these are particularly annoying to folks like me because it's like, there's not enough data here to tell you anything, right? They tend to ship within 3 months of that date. So here's hoping it comes out in 3 months, and then we can sort of look at it and say, oh yeah, wow, if I do well in the cryptocurrency market, I might buy one. Otherwise, I'll wait for the trickle-down effect to hit the next enthusiast offering that is going to have some of this cool technology in it, right? So it's all good. It's good information. It's good to know. It's good competition. It's proof that Nikon is not failing, like some are saying, which they're just reiterating some story based on, well, they lost some money last year. Big deal. It was less than 10% of their total revenue. You know, some years are bad years, and the COVID year was a very bad year. And now we're in a new year for Nikon. So they say they're in profit, and I believe them. Now, my own situation is, you know, I've switched over to Canon mirrorless. I'm shooting this on the EOS R, and I'm still getting used to it, but I'm happy to report I have no intention of changing anything at this point, and it's all good. And when I called Canon technical support with a couple of questions yesterday, they were pretty quick to answer my questions to my satisfaction. They didn't advertise their phone number. I had to get into a live chat in order to be invited to give them a call, but I did, and it was very illuminating. So look forward to having some more detail on my EOS R experience and sharing that with you in the near future. And stay safe, be well, and fade out.